Now we'll go through cosine and tangent really quickly. Idea with cosine is that I start at the point 0, 1, and I'm going to use the same thought process as I did with the sine graph. How can I limit cosine so that it passes the horizontal line test? If I do that, I'll start at the point 0, 1, because I've got to include x equals 0, and I'm going to come along to the right until I would start failing the horizontal line test. And the horizontal line test would fail as soon as I start going up there. And there's the point pi negative 1. So as soon as I start going up again, I'd fail the horizontal line test. So I've got to stop at pi. If I were to start filling into the left, I would fail the horizontal line test immediately. So I'm only going to be looking at this small segment here. So what is the domain and range of the segment? The domain is from 0 to pi, and the range is from negative 1 to 1 of that little red segment. So the inverse cosine is going to have a domain of negative 1 to 1 and a range of 0 to pi. Just going to reverse those two. So in terms of 0 to pi, what quadrants on the unit circle are we working with? And it's going to be quadrants 1 and 2. So out of all that, you want to know that the cosine inverse of x, or the arc cosine of x, is going to be defined in quadrants 1 and 2. Arc sine, or sine inverse, is quadrants 1 and 4. Arc cosine, or cosine inverse, is quadrants 1 and 2. Finally, with tangent, tangent's actually the easiest one to work with because we can't do any asymptote hopping. And I know my graph goes from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. And if I have to include 0, I'm going to take everything here, and I can just keep going up forever. I will never fail that horizontal line test going to the right. Same thing going to the left. I'm going to choose all this because at no point am I going to fail the horizontal line test for that segment. So specifically for the segment, the domain is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, and the range is negative infinity to infinity. That means for my tangent inverse or my arctangent, my domain is going to be from negative infinity to infinity, and my range is going to be from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. So in terms of the unit circle, negative pi over 2 to pi over 2 is going to be quadrants 1 and 4. So sine inverse and tangent inverse are defined in quadrants 1 and 4. Cosine inverse is defined in quadrants 1 and 2.